Hey, it's Michael Kosta. This is the Tennis Anyone podcast. It is Wednesday, May 21st. I'm shooting some video separately than audio. Those of you watching on YouTube, thank you very much. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the subscription. Those of you listening on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, please leave a rating and a review. Lots of fun stuff to talk about this week. Let's start with match point.
It's Alcaraz that reigns in Rome.
What language are they talking?
The Spaniard completes the set of clay court Masters 1000s.
God.
He puts an end to Jannik Sinner's 26-match unbeaten streak.
It is rare to watch somebody, I'm just making sure I'm still recording. It is rare to watch somebody make Jannik Sinner look uneasy on the court. I was also amazed. Tennis TV posted the court level highlights. That's really fun to watch. You kind of really get the vibe of their footwork and the depth that they hit with. Just watching the highlights, I thought Carlos Alcaraz was actually hitting the ball pretty short. I think if you're Carlos Alcaraz team, you can have some things to improve on from that match. But then he would also hit these incredibly high and heavy looping shots. And when you mix in some short penetrating ground strokes with like a super high heavy, that's just, think about the up and the down and the up and the down. Then that match point was an insane kick serve with, did he serve and volley? He came to net. Oh, don't make me do this. Just go full screen. That's what we want. It was a insane kick serve. Short backhand cross-court return. Alcaraz, it's a inside-in forehand drop shot, which Sinner somehow gets. My God. And then a stab volley winner. So, when I was playing tennis, there was so much discussion about moving someone side to side. And as all athletes and sports and coaches have gotten better, it seems like now, especially against Carlos Alcaraz, because I don't think Jannik Sinner does this very well, he makes you move side to side. He makes you move east to west and north to south. I mean, if you watch this match point, Jannik Sinner is returning the ball in a deep backhand corner. The next shot he has to run to is a shallow drop shot to his forehand on inside the service box. I mean, it is a full sprint. So very interesting to think about your game. Depth kills. We've always said that. I'm of the belief that if I'm watching Carlos Alcaraz and it feels like he's hitting the ball short, my first thought isn't, he should be hitting deeper. It's, he's hitting the ball short because that's what he is trying to do. So maybe he's trying to hit the ball short, so Sinner has to move forward, which is where he's not the most comfortable, and then these huge deep balls to move Sinner back, up and back, north and south. Really annoying, by the way. Really, really annoying, especially as tennis players, you do drill after drill of moving left to right, hitting on the run, left to right, hitting on the run. Very rarely do I remember in my 4 years of college being coached by excellent coaches, there was one, Bruce Burke occasionally would feed me a drop shot in a lesson and make me move forward. That was rare. So think about that, ladies and gentlemen, when you're playing tennis, about if you're moving your opponent forward and backward. And by the way, there's different ways, that doesn't just mean a drop shot. That means you can hit a ball 6 feet inside the baseline and then a ball on the baseline, hopefully. And they're having to adjust moving forward and backwards, forwards and backwards. That is effective. Something to think about. So that's fun. I mean, it's fun that Carlos Alcaraz is crushing on clay. He's wearing that stupid breathe thing on his nose. My 5-year-old daughter's like, why is he wearing a mask? And I was like, I think because he thinks it helps him breathe better. I mean, I don't know. My dad wore those to help him snore. I think it only just made him snore louder. It's like more air going into his nose. Jannik Sinner, this was his first tournament back in Italy. Played some great tennis. The draw was Tommy Paul was kind of the big quote-unquote surprise. 11 seed, lost to Jannik Sinner. 6-3 in the third in the semi. Tommy Paul beat Jannik Sinner 6-1 in the first set. I also thought this was an interesting result. Jannik Sinner beat Casper Ruud 0-1. Gay? Not gay, like gay. Maybe gay. Maybe they're both gay. Maybe Jannik Sinner and Casper Ruud are both gay, and Casper Ruud was intimidated by the looks of Jannik. Oh, stop, Michael. Other interesting, Musetti, we're all kind of waiting for him to break through and win something huge in the quarterfinals. He beat Zverev. So fun. Good job to the American Tommy Paul, who does feel quite comfortable on clay, right? Women, I had to go back and figure out who the hell beat Iga Swiatek. It was god dang Danielle Collins. Who is still at some point going to be on the Tennis Anyone podcast. So is Barbara Krejcikova. It's going to happen. But Danielle Collins, if you're listening, still love to have you on. At one point, we were in talks, and then it just didn't happen, but I'd still love to have her on. Thank you for that. Coco Gauff. It just is always interesting to me how she always wins these close matches, right? And it's like when a poker player keeps winning or placing in the high rounds of poker, you go, it isn't just luck. It keeps happening to the same person against world-class competition. So she was in the final and she lost to Paolini, an Italian. Hey, is Italiano. 4-2, who Paolini, I've interviewed her. She is tiny. She's as tall as this can of tennis balls. I'm showing my YouTube listeners right now, which, by the way, I was in Newtown, Connecticut, performing at the Edmond Town Hall. Really cool space. Thank you for everybody for selling it out. 450 tickets sold. Boom. And in my green room was a nice fresh can of Wilson U.S. Open Extra Duty. And I love that. Yeah, it says on my rider that I want a can of tennis balls in the green room when I get there. And normally people get Penn because that's what's available at CVS for $3.80. Occasionally someone really fucks up and they buy like 3 tennis balls in a mesh bag, like a Walmart situation or something like that. But when it's primo, by the way, I don't specify which type of balls. I should, though, because what do you do with 3 yellow felt fake tennis balls in a mesh bag? When it's primo, though, you get the Wilson U.S. Open Extra Duty. Thank you, Newtown, Connecticut. Only took me 3.5 hours to get there from Brooklyn, Friday traffic. But it was really great to get out of the city and perform. And people in Newtown, Connecticut, besides their obvious challenges, Sandy Hook Elementary shooting, they and them needing a good laugh based on something that occurred, real tragedy many, many years ago. It's just great to get up out of the city and give city level entertainment, but also very funny comedian Jill Wiener was opening for me. Very funny. New York City, Brooklyn comedian. These people probably live and work in the city, but they don't always hang out at night in the city because they got to get home to their real lives. And that's why they live up there, because you get more money, you get more bang for your money, you get better schools. And so to give them a great show at a really cool town hall that had a jail in it, that was really fun. So thank you to everybody who came out to Edmond Town Hall in Newtown, Connecticut. We had a lot of fun. We took questions. We signed books. We did it all. This joke I did last week never thought much of it. Someone else sent it to me, and I said, yeah, let's play it for the Tennis Anyone pod. This is 41 seconds. I haven't posted it. I don't know if I will. I don't think I will. I'm posting it here. What do you think of this joke? I've never met anyone with an amazing body. And I go, whoa, your body's amazing. Like, what do you do? And they go, oh, I play pickleball. I'm never like, that chick is hot as shit. What do you do? Oh, I play pickleball. I run 2 feet to the line and then I stand there and I go like this. Oh, this is controversial? Or is this like a big white trash audience? Oh, I'm so sorry that you guys are mad about the checkers, the checkers of racket sports. You know, I sometimes post these jokes from my new joke show, and inevitably, every single time I get comments like, not funny, try again, you should do better than that. And then I want to respond because I get angry because it's a new joke night. And I thought about putting up a thing that's like, new joke, it's a new joke, we're trying new jokes. And I just say, no, I'm just posting it, and it's like, who cares? It's Instagram, you know, whatever. And then, thanks to people that actually know me or know the world of comedy, they go, it's a new joke, bruh. Chill, that's why he's holding papers in his hand. I love making fun of pickleball. I think it is a great subject of ridicule. I have played. I played recently. I had fun. I did get a little bit of a workout. Nothing like a tennis workout. But I've said it once. I'll say it again. I've stolen this from Andre Agassi. Tennis is the Mount Everest of racket sports. But pickleball can bring people together in the form of exercise and community, and that's fun. So I do like saying, hey, people ask me sometimes, do you play pickleball? And I always say the same thing. I say, look, I have a good relationship with my parents, so I don't have to play this basically screaming version of I need therapy. But anyways, I thought I'd post that for you here at Tennis Anyone. You know, a few things about Rome that I thought were very interesting. I thought both players, Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz, were apologizing a lot to each other, and we got to stop with this shit, okay? You know, when Jim Courier and Pete Sampras would play, and they trained together since they were 8 years old, and somebody got a neck cord, it was no fucking, I'm sorry, Jimbo, sorry, Petey. They just played, and then they dealt with it later. And I understand it's so competitive. The margins are so low now that as soon as if you get a little bit of a lucky break or what your opponent might think is a lucky break, you immediately apologize just to disarm them. Don't give them any fuel to get pumped up. But it's like every point, they hit it on the line, they hit it off the line, they're going, sorry, that's the whole point, hitting it on the line. You hit it on the line, so they get a shitty bounce. That's why you hit it on the line. You don't have to apologize. If anything, they should be putting their hands up going, yeah, I did that. I'm good as shit. That point, I was good as shit. Oh, the thing that hit the line, I'm good as shit that point. I'm is better than you that point. But they're apologizing left and right. And at some point, it's like it isn't classy anymore. It starts to just feel kind of like, you know, somebody to keep like someone in a social situation. Like sometimes you meet younger comics and they're so eager to please or get you to like them because basically at the end of the day, if you really want to break it down, they're trying to steal your job from you. So they're always like laughing extra hard all the time. That's a good, you know, and they're kind of like positioning themselves to be close to you. And I felt like that when I was watching Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz apologizing. It's like, guys, you know, compete, slice each other. I don't ever see a hockey player like slash them in the face. And it's like, sorry, slash you in the face. Sorry, slash you in the face. Although hockey could probably use that. I just think it's time to get over the apologies and like you hit the neck cord and you hit the line and then, you know, unless it's truly lucky, like you're wearing a blindfold somehow. Someone from the stands ran down and put a blindfold on you and then you still somehow hit an ace. Well, no, then you wouldn't apologize. Even you'd be, look, I fucking aced you, dude, and I'm blindfolded. Oh, I'm sorry. Is this podcast audience white trash? It doesn't work as well with other races to then say trash, right? White trash. That works. if you were to throw other ethnicities or races or religions in front of that, it doesn't work as well. Although Christian trash, I feel like I can say that. Jewish trash carries too much. Muslim trash isn't Buddhist trash, right? Those don't work. But no one really says Christian trash either, although you could. You could. Note to my producer, edit out all of that. Just kidding. Don't keep it in. This is free flowing, baby. When you say white trash, I think, you know what I mean. What else? I've been doing this joke. Trump was just in Saudi Arabia and then Qatar. And let me just point this out. I find it fascinating that Trump is like, make America great again. I'm bringing back America. America was on decline. America first. America manufacturing. America. Remember when America was great? America. Look what he did to America. I'm here to save America. Oh, by the way, I'll be in the Middle East. Oh, by the way, I'll accepting gifts from these people. It reminds me of the female feminist down with the patriarchy. Women deserve equal pay. This country is taken advantage of us for years. Men would never be treated that way. Oh, by the way, I'll be in Scottsdale for the next 4 days with the all expenses paid trip to some guy. Oh my God, I can't believe you tried to kiss me. I'm getting edgy today. I think the word I'm looking for is hypocrisy. I feel that, and if you don't accept my female feminist analogy, that's fine. You don't have to. It's like the wildly outspoken feminist who then blatantly expects the man to pay for everything. Although I guess the feminist might say the man is making more based off of the patriarchal society that we're in. My point is Trump sure does talk a lot about America and wanting to make it great. And then he goes overseas to not our allies. It's not like he's going over to England or he's going over to negotiate the tariff deals. Hey, China, it's me, Trump. I know I was charging you a lot, but let's talk about it face to face. No, he's going over to fucking behoove his financial interests. You know that. There is always such a moment of truth when that check comes, you know, at the restaurant. Like I always thought it would be much better for the restaurant if you could pay ahead of time. Especially in New York City where, you know, the cost is very high and people don't often have money and you got to split things. You know, when I lived in Michigan, it was a lot easier to pick up a tab for your friends. But in New York, it's like really when the calculators get out, and especially in your 20s, you don't have any money. I mean, New York's the only place I've ever lived where I was, you know, back in the 20s drinking days. I remember I would order a beer. It's happened to me multiple times. I'd be at like one of those where 20-year-olds go drink. I would order a beer. I would sit it down on the bar. It'd be pretty much a full beer. And I would turn the corner and someone would steal it. Multiple times, I would get a draft beer like a baller. By then it was probably $8, $9, still expensive. Put it down and the beer would disappear. In my really young drinking days, I would try to, that's happened one time at a party. I grabbed what I thought was a Miller Lite of someone else's. So basically I'm admitting that I was stealing beers, and I tried to take a sip and it was fucking dip spit. Eek. Eek.
This is controversial? Is this like a big white trash audience?
Got him. I also wanted to play this because this fascinates me. It's on my Instagram right now. And I think it's important. I think this is important. I noticed in some reviews of this pod, some people were mad that I was talking about politics, and I get it. You feel like it is a tennis pod. Let me share with you my feedback on that. If you want all tennis all the time. I think there are those podcasts for you. What I love about this podcast and what I love and what I think the sport needs more of are more colorful and more layered and more complicated tennis commentators and players. I want more tennis players to speak out politically. I hate how the world is happening, the news is happening, and good, bad, whatever you're feeling, then you get to your Instagram and the tennis community is posting like taste of Miami. And it's like, do you have any clue what the fuck is going on? Now, there's an whole argument that maybe that's what we like about sport. And certainly it's in the commercial interests of all those involved in all sports to stay away from politics. But fuck that, man. It's okay. Like, you don't have to be a jerk about it, but you can look, I loved when Andrei Rublev wrote "No War." That's like the most controversial thing that's happened in tennis in the last 3 years. Right? And then the Ukrainian player wouldn't shake the Russian player's hand. That's good. Yeah, that's life. That's humanity. And you're on a stage, so use it. And I know brands and corporations get real nervy with this. But another way to look at the Tennis Anyone podcast is that your boy Kosta, who has a little bit of tennis insight and is also on a political TV show, where the fuck else are you going to get both of this shit at the same time? Booyah! Just a thought. All right, so habeas corpus. This is at the Senate Homeland Security and Government Affairs Committee. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem from the Live Free Die state of North Dakota. Live Free Die state, North Dakota. That says New Hampshire. Which one is it? North Dakota. Saying Liberty Union, South Dakota. Under God. Okay, how about this? Let's just do Kristi Noem. She's Homeland Security. This chick is insane. Remember when she went to South Dakota? Remember when she went to that prison in El Salvador wearing that like $60,000 watch and was standing in front? It was just terrible. God, I hate that stuff. Anyways, she was having a budget meeting, but then the senator stepped in. This is a senator from New Hampshire. Senator, is it Maggie Hassan? Maggie Hassan, United States Senator from New Hampshire. Ooh, she was a governor too. Nice. So I think this is interesting. I don't want this to come across as preaching. I think it's embarrassing that the Homeland Security Secretary doesn't know the answer to this. So in that case, I am preaching. But I more just want to use this as a reminder about habeas corpus and our Constitution and the rights that we have. I don't care who you voted for this part of the pod. We are not allowed to be imprisoned without a good reason. Okay? I know it sounds simple, but don't tell me this stopped recording. I know that sounds simple, but it's really important, and it's really important right that we have because of the Constitution of the United States, which was written 270 years ago by a bunch of old white dudes who owned slaves, and they got a lot of shit right, and they got some shit wrong. I should remind everyone that the Declaration of Independence at one point included a whole section against slavery. God, can you imagine how much different this country would be if our Declaration of Independence actually included that? And instead it got negotiated out because they wanted the southern states to be involved. We are still as a nation, as a people, as a society, as many cultures, handling the consequences and the ramifications of that decision. But they did write this thing called habeas corpus, which means that the government has to have a reason and they have to communicate that reason to the courts for why you are being imprisoned. Very important. It's what separates us from so many other countries and places. Please listen to this interaction between Senator Maggie Hassan, I hope that's how she says her name, from New Hampshire, interviewing, asking questions to the Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, who incorrectly defines habeas corpus. I just think it's beautiful, and I think we all need to know what's in our Constitution because we have been taking these rights for granted for many years, and it's starting to bite us in the ass. Take a listen.
Secretary Noem, the White House Deputy Chief of Staff recently said that the Trump administration is actively looking at suspending habeas corpus. Last week you were asked about this, and I want to clarify your position because it's obviously really important to get this right. So, Secretary Noem, what is habeas corpus?
Well, habeas corpus is a constitutional right that the president has to be able to remove people from this country and suspend their right to.
Let me stop you, ma'am. Habeas corpus, excuse me, that's incorrect.
President Lincoln used it.
Excuse me. Habeas corpus is the legal principle that requires that the government provide a public reason for detaining and imprisoning people. If not for that protection, the government could simply arrest people, including American citizens, and hold them indefinitely for no reason. Habeas corpus is the foundational right that separates free societies like America from police states like North Korea. As a senator from the Live Free or Die state.
Okay, great. So she said, as a senator from the Live Free or Die state, which is New Hampshire.
This matters a lot to me and my constituents and to all Americans. So, Secretary Noem, do you support the core protection that habeas corpus provides, that the government must provide a public reason in order to detain and imprison?
So I'm going to let her answer this because you should also hear her response, which I believe is bullshit. But I just think, and by the way, I'm no constitutional expert. I needed to brush up on habeas corpus before all this also. But it is an example of these things that we have all taken for granted and forget that somebody at one point fought for this right for us. And it's a testament to its effectiveness that we all forgot or take for granted that we have this. It's being challenged, of course, because Donald Trump is detaining people and sending them out of the country to a prison in El Salvador. Wow. Can't believe I just said that. Without being brought before a judge. Wild. If you had the confidence that they were being detained for a good reason, you would bring them before a judge. And even crazier, a judge that I think you or your administration appointed. We are not a country where you just go to prison for saying or doing the wrong, for saying the wrong thing or for doing something that the government is mad at. At least we weren't. So this is very, very interesting. Now, Kristi Noem says President Lincoln used it, which I think that's right in the time of the Civil War. So Kristi Noem is going to make a statement about President Trump has the authority to use it. That is up for debate. President Trump has the authority to override it. That is up for debate, big time. The point is, Trump and his lawyers are going to push it all the way to the line until motherfuckers start drawing the line. So I'll let you, just out of fairness to Kristi Noem, let you hear her answer too.
And to all Americans. So, Secretary Noem, do you support the core protection that habeas corpus provides, that the government must provide a public reason in order to detain and imprison someone?
Yeah, I support habeas corpus. I also recognize that the President of the United States has the authority under the Constitution to decide if it should be suspended or not.
It has never
Let us be clear, though,
it has
that this
never
president,
been done. It has never been done without approval of Congress. Even Abraham Lincoln got retroactive approval from Congress.
Okay, so you want to suspend habeas corpus?
Afternoon, everybody.
Oh, no. Yeah, he's dead. Too bad. Very funny guy. You want to suspend habeas corpus, need to get approval from Congress. What scares me about that is I think Trump could probably get approval from Congress. But that's not good. That's not good. That is look, and there's members of minority communities that would hear this and go, hey, motherfucker, you think the government hasn't wrongfully imprisoned people before for no reason? And they're right. And habeas corpus is not perfect, but it is written in the Constitution and has never been just suspended because the president wants to, most likely for political and optical reasons. Anyways, habeas corpus. Talk to your kids about it. Talk to your family about it. Make sure you're aware of it. You can't be imprisoned in this country without the government publicly sharing the reason. It needs to be a good reason. Hopefully the courts and the judges won't allow that. And for this administration to put people on an airplane and fly them to a different country, that is a violation of the United States Constitution. Not okay. It's not cool. Okay, thank you to Newtown, Connecticut. Thank you for the U.S. Open extra duty balls. Thanks to my white trash audience for laughing at the pickleball joke. Just so you know, pickleball's fun. Thanks for going with me with that whole Trump, Saudi Arabia feminist thing. My next stand-up dates, it's been a while. It's going to be a while. August 1st and 2nd, San Antonio and Dallas. That's pretty fun. And I'll be hosting The Daily Show June 3, 4, 5. Make sure you check it out. Thanks for listening to Tennis Anyone Podcast. I'm Michael Kosta. Game, set. I got to do this right. Match. Kosta.
Oh, this is controversial? Is this like a big white trash audience?
Oh, got him. Stupid. Thanks for listening to the Tennis Anyone Podcast. Bye.